Hello, and welcome to this edition of Time Warp, brought to you today by my 1986 Gsxr750 hybrid Kevin Schwantz superbike replica. Had a few requests to get a video on this bike with details. This is sat in the background of some of my other videos. So this thing will probably be a little more detail orientated as far as video goes compared to my others. And I'm going to try something new today, which will be a two-stage video. Basically, we'll do an overview of what you see here, and then we'll do a cold start quick demo, and then we'll do a naked review of all the mods and performance upgrades on this bike and what we did to make it perform like a dream. Real quick basics. This is a bit of a hybrid from the standpoint of the build started from the ground up. Bought a frame, an 86 frame, and wedged a 92 Gsxr750 motor in it. Spliced eventually, after quite the evolution with this bike over 3-4 years, but ended up one of the upgrades this year finally was first gen R1 front end, and I finally got around to fitting the late model R6 wheels to the bike. And aside from that, from a cosmetic standpoint, the body work, the tail section is all OE and the lowers are all OE. The mids and upper and number plate are done by Jason Dune, aka Fiberman, out of Ireland. Guy does top-notch replicas of OE bodywork, as well as some race glass and whatnot. Graphics were done by RD Decals, aka AFE Graphics. Really nice stuff. Did a custom carb shroud. Got some extra blue stripes from AFE Graphics to continue across the carb shrouds. Anyways, paintwork was done by Tim Baggot, local hot gun. Turned out beautiful. This bike is won Best in Show at the prestigious Rocker Box Vintage Motorcycle Show at Road America during Moto America weekends. Anyways, so needless to say, this bike has got first place show trophy, and it also has first place on the track. So it goes as good as it looks. And what we'll do now is a quick cold start demo, let you hear this thing snort. She is absolutely a beast. And then after that, we'll do a naked demo. I'll go through all the details after we let her undress, and we'll go from there. So let's get to this cold start. If you bear with me for a second, hopefully my phone holds on here. different in closed quarters. Anyways, there you have it, the fire breather. So I'll cut this part short. We'll see how my editing skills go, and we will we'll give Susie some privacy and let her take her clothes off, and we'll pick you up on part 2. And shazam! There she is in all her naked glory. Okay, so welcome to the technical portion of the video. I will start from the top front, work our way back and down and all around. Try and cover everything. Hopefully I don't miss anything. Up front, went with a Koso knockoff tachometer. I've gone through a couple OE 86, 91 tachs and broken needles, whatnot. Vibration tends to kill them. So for 36 bucks, figured I'd give this a shot. Got a shift light, got it functioning correctly. So we'll see. Forward controls, got a Brembo RCS19 Corsa Corda Master with remote adjust. Have a CRG GP clutch perch with quick adjust on the fly. Little switches for my quick shift to disable it in the pits. Got a Toby steering dampener, a requisite for the slab side. Power distribution center. Got a tray. This tray was made by some guy up in Canada. I don't know if he still makes them, but they came in handy for tidying up things. Anyways, got a full spectrum lithium battery feeding a Dyna 2000 ignition system. That ignition system feeds a race wiring harness. I don't run anything on this other than the ignition essentially, but that's feeding Dyna mini coils with XL lines. This system, I'm running a total loss system. I got rid of the alternator. I still run a starter, but I got rid of the big bulky alternator. So that battery is charged in between sessions. Seems to work out good and a big weight savings. Big fan of lithium batteries. Anyways, on the front end, this is a first gen 98, 99, 2000 R1 front end spliced onto the 86 chassis. Went this route because my racing sanctioning body requires axial brakes in my class, NextGen Superbike. And this is about the best front end. It's got Race Tech Gold Valve kit. The exhaust system on this is a period correct Yoshimura Cyclone header and mid pipe that feeds into, when I bought that exhaust system, the canister was kind of trash, so I found this SC knockoff Chinese replica, and the diameter, the ID, matched up to the collar, the adapter collar, so it works out good, and as you heard, it sounds amazing. Rear swing arm braced using an R1, first gen R1 swing arm. So you cut off the upper brace on the R1 swing arm, weld it to the stock 86 swing arm. And my welder, who happens to be a vintage racer as well, master welder, does just a beautiful job with the plate work on this. Couldn't be happier. Got a Super Sprox rear sprocket, EK GP520 chain, and all of it is suspended by a beautiful late model Öhlins TTX GP shock off a Triumph 675. Length was correct, had to do a little mods to the eyelet bushings, but worked out fantastic. I was concerned about valving and springing, but it all worked out great. Yoshimura replica rear sets made by MK2 Racing. tied to a quick shift, a Dynajet quick shifter run through the Dyna 2000. I was skeptical about that too, but this thing shifts flawlessly on the track. Thoroughly impressed. The catch can is also a Yoshimura replica made by MotoGP Works out of California. They also make the filters that go on the RS 38s, NRC case covers, cooling. Got a unique cooling system on this after talking to some of the experts. Obviously, the oil-cooled engines, cooling is their Achilles heel. So, after much advice, what we ended up doing, this is a 2013 Gsxr750 oil cooler that's run through the standard system off the bottom of the oil pan. After that initial cooling is cycled back into the motor, the output for the cylinder head is first fed into the 92 curved oil cooler. That is cooled additionally before running back up and into the valve cover and dumping into the head. The majority of the cooling is done in the head, so that's why we ended up going this way with the bigger oil cooler feeding the head. So regarding the engine, this is a 92 engine squeezed into an 86 frame. 92 engines are a little more capable of mods and upgrades. They've got forged connecting rods, capable of higher compression, higher RPMs and whatnot. Anyway, so we got RS38s feeding a modified head where most of the money was spent on this engine. We've got porting, race cams, oversized valves, stiffer valve springs. We were running FJ 1300 valve springs, which I guess are about 15% stiffer. High compression pistons. This engine was split down to the cases. Transmission was overhauled. And I can't ask for more. New main bearings, new rod bearings. Bike really holds its own. I got a couple other videos out of this thing playing with some of the big bikes at track days at Road America, and she definitely holds her own. One of the, some of the most significant updates on all this, aside from the motor, which is just a monster, ended up with 121 horsepower out of this rear wheel, which we were pretty happy with that. But it's super lightweight. I believe this is under 390 pounds, fully decked, race ready. But that's in part due to the significant weight savings of the late model R1, R6 wheels. I think I saved 11.4 pounds just in the wheels themselves, alternator delete, etc., etc. But yeah, with the correct suspension and dialed in, this bike is an absolute hoot on the track. And it's a big kick messing with late model kit and having people come up asking what the hell this thing is. But anyway, so there you have it. I'm sure I missed a lot, but hopefully you enjoyed the show. I've had quite a few requests to get details on this bike, as it's been sitting in the background of some of my other videos. But anyways, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. My next project is in process, ready to start putting it back together. VFR 750 4th gen. I'm doing a GP replica resto mod, calling it an RCV 36. Should be stunning when completed. So stay tuned. In the meantime, as always, keep the shiny side up, and thanks for watching. Cheers.